Met die grootste respect.
Ja, ik zal ook krijgen voor de camera's again. It's bad.
Pretty bad.
It's not so hard.
It's bad, Ron.
Well, I'm trying hard to do it.
Don't turn, it's fine. Oi.
Sorry, I can't fully try it. But like was it the sound problem at the start of this game. Just bear with me.
Mooi man, lekker man. That's land. Lekker gebak. Zuivel. Zuivel. Fine, I like it. Klaassen, bring hom voor reis. Mooi.
Why is it so wide?
Almost.
Welkom. Die microfoon kan die buiten staan. Die klank op die speakers. Camera's.
Anton, beetje meer gaan wachten. Ahmed? No, Sean, that was my ball.
Dankie Jacob.
Much better. Much better run.
Okay, ek dink ons klank is nou aan die gang, gaan nou aan die gang wees. Gee ons net 'n oombliekie. Sy.
Ek het glad nie aan hom geraak nie. Jy het nie aan hom geraak nie.
Daai en dis hierdie wat se klank aan.
Ja. Ek moet net die audio doen man. Ek het nou die audio
No, that's nowhere.
gesien. Ek kan net nie by waar.
As je links gaat,
Ek was al daar.
dan was je wel.
Ja. Net van volume. Ek dink dit is dit nie.
Ja, die headphones zitten ze opgeplakt.
Ja.
Great face, Ali.
Sien hoe kom ek in agter daarby uit?
Our ball there, yeah. It's a little narrow. They come in here.
Waarom kom hy met nie? Ag, yes.
Touch holding one.
Ek het nou net daai ding gesien.
Oh, that's a beer. That's a beer. Yes.
Alles heeft een
Ja, maar dit is net die... Nee, hierdie weet ek nie hoekom hy nou...
Oi,
Hij is dus actief.
am I going inside that ball? Am I going inside that ball? It's like online. On it. Yeah.
En hy het alles met die kamera self te doen. Dit het nie... Maar sy audio mix, maar sy...
Okay.
I actually thought you were the wrong bar. Yeah, inside. You know the line is inside. What about the weight?
Alright, let's see if the sound on this camera 3. Testing, testing. Let's see if we can get some sound now. Testing, testing. Let's see if we can get some sound now. All right, at last. Yeah, we're back up. If we didn't have such a clever president, we wouldn't have figured this out. So there we go. Jock, let's start again. Welcome to your business league. Get this off. All right. Yeah, welcome to the business league of Somerset West. Your final evening. Yeah, was it a successful one?
I really think so. Yeah, we haven't. It's been a tough year for all clubs out there, and I think the restrictions being lifted slightly have given us opportunity to start up business league again, and we're very fortunate to have a full field tonight and for the last 4 weeks, and it's going really well. It's being supported, and it's a great way for people to get introduced to our sport, and hopefully we'll get a couple of people signing up after this. So yeah, we're very excited about the business league, as every club should be.
Yeah, I think so too. I know that some of the business leagues are so big that they have sessions where people come and play. I know there are some business leagues that they can't fit everyone on one day, so they have different days for it. So I know Malmesbury has got 440 players in their business league, so that's a massive thing. It is well supported. It is a popular thing. Our sport is popular.
Not just that, we're also clubs starting to find alternate ways to generate funds, and companies using the greens for team building exercises and introducing it more at a smaller level is just as important. So making use of those days in the week when the green is not so full is an opportunity for all clubs to generate additional funds, and we all need it. Believe you me, we all need it.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a story that we've heard all over the show, that lockdown and that we couldn't go to our clubs have put financial strains on all of them. So yeah, we hopefully be back into play, and hopefully we can get back and more on the green. Please, Jock, just tell me a little bit about the Somerset West Bowls Club.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, we were established in 1936, so we're 85 years old this year, and currently we have close to 100 active members. We've got a couple of social members. The Somerset West Bowls Club is part of the Somerset West Country Club, and we have golf and tennis and squash as part of the other sporting codes here. The greens themselves, we have 3 lovely greens maintained by a very, very small team. And we up there. Our ladies won the Premier League last year, and our men were knocking on the door in the first division. So we have got some top bowlers here in the club, and looking to get further opportunities as the year starts becoming alive. We're all becoming very active soon.
I know, ask me, there are no dates available for if you want to organize anything. There are no dates, yeah, so it is very difficult to find a date for a tournament or a day or anything like that. So yes, I feel, I know those pains. But again, Jock, you're the Somerset West Bowls Club. You guys have been part of this town, and for so long, from 1936, almost, not long to go, then there is the centenary. So yes, a big tradition. And the club that you have been the president of now for some time. I know it's your second year. Yeah, your second year, and it's grown. It went under some pressure at some stage, but back up and through hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at a club, any club, irrespective of how big or how small you are, cannot survive without the contribution from a team, and that team needs to be supported the whole time. And it's about changing the culture within a club, and that's very difficult because you're not going to please everyone all the time. And through COVID, we had some very tough times where decisions had to be made, and not all the members were happy about it. But you have to endeavour to persevere, as they say in the movies, and you got to keep a smile up there and keep on finding new ways to get members, new people to join the club. We need to go out there. There are thousands and thousands of people wanting to enjoy this fantastic sport that we all love. So it's up to us. It's up to people like you and me, Paul, and you're doing a great job in getting the message out there. So thank you very much.
No problem. We try. But again, Jock, what you're saying there is very true, is that it is a group of members. That the success of a club and the success of the numbers of the club is regarding the people that are working. It is directly, you can trace it back to the people working in the club. You've got a very active committee, and then you can see that in the numbers. A very lazy committee, and everything's been just carrying on the same way. There's no growth in that. So, but it's hard work. It's really hard work to go out there and find people.
It's the same in every club. I think there's a small group of people. We have a fantastic secretary, Leonie Talliart, who really goes out of her way. Our vice president, David Cuff, is really stands in for me whenever I'm not available. And then we have a fantastic treasury and Adrian Lee. And the other support people on here, Ken Nell, who's our greenkeeper, is doing a fantastic job with limited resources. And we're really up there with the rest of the clubs in Western Province in terms of the greens facilities that we're maintaining here. And it's attributed to the members and the contribution they make. You know, even people like Graham Bamford, who maintains these gardens with a small team. I've yet to see another club in the Western Province who've got as beautiful gardens as we have. It really is a pleasure to walk around here at any time of day and to see the beautiful gardens that have been made for us to enjoy.
Well, I must applaud you, and I must say that I know Graham since I've been here, and that is his little passion, and he makes sure that these gardens are well kept. So yeah, I know that, and yeah, he's doing a splendid job. But again, it's someone willing to do the job. You know, it doesn't just happen. We need to pull finger. That is just, everyone needs to do their little bit. We need to pull finger. There are ways that we do where we can make it a little bit more lighter for the members to not have those little things. You know, maybe employ barmans. You know, those are things that always have a little bit of gripe, and you know, someone doing the catering on behalf of the kitchen. But you know, again, then you lose a part of what is actually your club is about. You know, everyone pulling together and making it work. So yes, but the guys need to make money at the end of the day.
You're absolutely right. Look, it's a family affair. It's a family of members, and I don't think it's unique to us. It's everywhere. And in families, you bicker, you don't get along. But when the push comes to shove, you know what needs to be done, and there's always a group of people who are willing to stand up and to help doing that. And the secret, I think, is trying to get people to do jobs that they enjoy. Because if they do that, it doesn't seem like a job. So that's the secret, is trying to match up people to all the work that needs to be done in a club.
That is very true. If you can get that done, then you are definitely on the right track. Because what's that saying? If you can send someone to hell and let him look forward to it, then you've got your job done. Yeah. So no, it is very true. But again, it is, everyone knows where they are on the same page and wanting to do the same thing. So I think it's a very good thing. Oh yeah, they're calling a very short mat. I wonder if this is going to happen. This is very tricky for regular bowlers, not even to say for business league bowlers. If he keeps this up, he'll do very well.
The greens are really sped up, so I think it's going to be difficult to keep it on the green.
Yeah, no, definitely they are quite quick. But I must say, having played here on Monday and having a look at it, and like it is today, I must say these greens are looking superb, and the speed is of exceptional. It's exceptional, and I know the guys that played here on Sunday, the Boland guys, they also, not Boland, the Western Province trial guys. They complimented that. So yeah, congratulations to you.
Ken's doing a great job. I mean, this B green was rested for at least a month because it was showing a bit of wear and tear after having played through a bit of the wet in the winter, and the recovery that we've seen here, and the speed that it's starting to pick up. Right after we opened it was probably running around about 11-12, and now you can see even early evening is running 14-15. So he's done a fantastic job with him and his team.
Absolutely. So just a moment, I just want to change the camera angle.
John, if you burn it now, it's going to be placed on the bar. Fine.
It has to go on the 2 meter, and the mat must go into that. You both lost it. He lost it first, and now he lost it again. So you put it on the 2 meter, and the mat goes on the 2 meter.
The mat can go anywhere.
Anywhere.
Go anywhere.
Can we have a ruling?
I'm an umpire.
So we both 2 meters.
I'm an umpire. The kitty goes on the 2 meter. The mat can go anywhere up to the red line.
Pushing the mat up, you on the 2 meter, understand?
That guy's straight.
I don't want to touch it because I don't know the rules. So I'm just going to
I must say, they pulled it right. They've lost the jack twice, so now they've pulled the mat right up, and the jack is on the 2 meter mark. So, and he started off with a very good bowl. So, yeah, that's, you know, for non-bowlers, that's actually good.
And look at this ball coming up here. This is even better. Might even get a right onto the kitty there. Fantastic shot. Right.
What a good reply there. Very clear instruction. You have to beat this.
I must say the direction from the skips has improved over the last couple of weeks. It does take a bit of coaching. We try and put a manager or a coach with each team, or at least on each rink. So that has helped a bit. But yeah, there's some interesting calls that come your way.
Yeah, well, they make it work for them. So as long as they have fun. You see, I think there's our game definitely has two compartments. We have the people that are serious about playing bowls and wanting to play league and competitions and want to achieve Western Province colours. And then there are these guys. And these guys outnumber us serious guys plenty. And we are losing them after every 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Then we lose them for a year until 6 months until we have a next business league, and then they come up and they want to play again. They love the game.
Yeah.
Why can't we keep them?
No, I absolutely agree. And Paul, we need to think of better ways to manage this process. So on a game of tabs, it's highly unlikely that we'll fill out all 3 greens. So why not make 1 green available for these social type bowlers? Have someone who is qualified helping them in terms of coaching and making sure that the green is still there at the end of the day. But certainly we need to accommodate these social bowlers. And I think one of the things that scare them away is things like the affiliation fees and that. But there are different ways to accommodate this. So I really think in terms of a submission to Bowl South Africa, it needs to be looked at. So we make use of our assets, which are greens, are probably our most important assets. We need to make use of them more smartly. And the way to do that is to get these social bowlers onto the greens, because by getting them on the greens, you're going to find someone who's really interested, who's got talent, and will take the step in starting to play more serious bowls.
I agree with you 100%. They will definitely, the guy that picks it up and, or you know, which the game clicks for him, he'll take it up and want to go and achieve further, you know, play serious. But if you have a look here, you know, with the music and there normally is a braai sometimes, as when they do some suppers is a braai, so many fires, and you know, it's very social and casual, and we can do that every night. But then you start saying affiliation fees and like that. So yeah, but there must be when you go play golf. I always try and take it back to golf. If you go play golf and you're a visiting member, you play a lot of money to play. If you're a non-affiliate member, then you pay even more for a round of golf, but you still can play a round of golf. They don't chase you away, or you can still play. So why can't we find somewhere where these people can come for the afternoon and play 50 rand, play a afternoon game of support the bar and go home, without having to be affiliated to understand?
There's lots of clubs doing this, and our friend Eugene out there at Gardens is doing a great job on Fridays in terms of social bowls, and he's built that club back up to be a real social place where people want to get together on a Friday. They go for a couple of drinks and a couple of bowls, a couple of rounds on the green, and they really enjoy it. And I think there are many clubs who are starting this Friday afternoon barefoot bowls to encourage the social bowler to come and experience the culture of a bowling club, and to understand that it's not just retired people who are waiting to get on the green. And I've got to choose my words very carefully because we got to convince people this is a young man's game. You know, in Australia, many of the top bowlers retire just in their 30s, once they're in their 30s. So we have to start thinking about this. We've got some fantastic juniors here in the Western Cape, in the Western Province. From the Strand, there's quite a few serious bowlers. I think probably half of the Western Province, or a quarter of the Western Province team is made up of young bowlers from this area in the Strand and Helderberg Bowling Club. So we need to encourage these youngsters to come, and one way to do that is to get their parents to also be part of this, and for them to experience the social side of it, because it really is an opportunity for a family to play sport together.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, Jock, because that is not our job. The job there to entice, to get something to make these youngsters want to play this game. Not because it's nice and it's a target game and whatever, but where can I go from here? Can I become a national sports star? Can I become a legend? Can I become, I've asked this so many times, will I be recognized when I walk on the street? Does anyone, when Kevin Campbell walks down the street, run up to him and say, Kevy, Kevy, Kevy? I don't think so. Although he's a world champion, multiple champion on many a field. But that doesn't happen. And but if you see Skalkberger walking down the street, even the old one, people go up to him and say, Skala, 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 you understand? So the rugby stars and those sports stars are, and that is where we need to get. Everyone knows who's Greg Minnaar. That's a minnow sport, but go and see they perform in front of 100,000 people.
Yeah. Well, it's exposure, and what you're saying now, you're playing a big part in getting it out there. How much airtime does bowls really get? So when you compare even motorbike racing, the amount of airtime they get, the sponsorships they get, the amount of money that's in rugby, the amount of money that's in many of these frontline sports, you cannot compare it. But what we do have for us is that in 2032 is the Olympics where bowls may be allowed again, and it is about 10-12 years away. We need to start getting our youngsters now to get into bowls, because by the time they're 20, 22, can you imagine with 10 years experience, the type of bowlers we could send to the Olympic Games. We have got a good track record in terms of being fantastic bowlers in the Commonwealth Games. We can certainly do the same in terms of Olympics in 10 to 12 years' time, but it's going to be up to the existing clubs and members in South Africa to start encouraging youngsters and to start looking forward to that there. We don't have the money to have academies like Australia, but we certainly have the innovative ideas and the gumption to get things going.
That also, what you have now said is a long debate and a massive amount of work. The number of people, the number of countries you need to get to start playing bowls and become affiliate members. So that's another thing, but that is not for us. That's a big thing. But even for us, locally, what to do? How can we, can people make money out of this game? Can they perform? That's not there. That draw card is not there. So, and now with the Commonwealth being, only having 2 sports that is compulsory, the other sports that they used to have, now the countries that are hosting it can choose which sports they want to, and they might not choose lawn bowls. Lawn bowls were one of the ones that were compulsory. You had there, they were one of the top sports. Now it's only athletics, I think, and swimming. So the rest you can decide. If you want to have boomerang throw when you're in Fiji as one of your Commonwealth Games, you can decide to do that. So that is even a bigger challenge for us, So it is important that, streams like we do and what the Aussies do, and, that we are sharing it, because sharing through your mates and to your friends lets people see what the game is about. And that will get them back to it. And that will get our numbers. We were 100,000 bowlers at some stage. We're 20,000 now in South Africa.
As I said, it's a state of affairs, but every one of us needs to play a part. If everyone can get 1 or 2 members a year, then we certainly will start growing the sport again. But it takes effort, it's effort. While we're talking nonsense, we've seen some good bowls here. 2 very close into the head there, both within the meter, so it's good bowling.
I must say I have had a look across the green, and they are obviously, these are non-bowlers, so you can't expect them to have heads within mat length or whatever. But some of them have actually been good, and there are some people you can see, obviously people with talent and sport ability and bowls ability, ball sense, and they know how the game works. We need to try and keep them and make sure that they stay with us.
Yeah, I think the difficulty is you want to try and show them the ins and outs of it, and the most important thing is making sure that delivery, they start getting a good delivery. But you don't want to mess around too much. Do things that are comfortable to them, not necessarily do things by the book, and try and make it relaxing. It's about making it enjoyable, because if they enjoy it, they'll come back, and that's the idea: is get people to come back. You look across the screen here, you'll see the average age is probably in the low 30s. Low 30s to mid 30s, and that's a good sign, because that's the target we should be getting, and maybe even 5 to 10 years younger. People straight out of varsity to start a spot of their business to start playing bowls.
Yeah, I think that is a good area, but remember, those are going to get married and get kids now, so then they're going to maybe just start playing, and then they're going to leave the sport again. So let's wait until their kids are fairly grown up, and then when they are these 35 to 40-year-olds, and that's a nice target group. The kids are now handleable, they can handle themselves, they can leave them at home, people can go play, and they can also, those kids that are now 10, 13, 14, they can start playing.
You're giving away one of my secrets now, Paul, because one of the things I've been talking about for probably a year and a half is getting singles clubs to come and enjoy bowls and to meet people. Now we've got these apps like Kur and what these other things, I don't know, all these swipe left and right things, but what a great place to meet someone. Where does a single person today meet someone who they can get along with? Now, what better way to get to know someone than on a sport field, where it's a relaxed environment, you can have a couple of drinks, you can enjoy a braai or something afterwards, and then start enjoying the game as well. So I'm looking at getting some singles clubs to host some events at the club in the evenings, and create an opportunity for people to meet more people.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea, and I see the Aussies have babies and bowls, so moms take the babies with to the clubs and leave them on the green, because they can't run and roll, so they just roll around and they play with their kids, so that's also a great way to, for those type of people to connect on a level where you can talk babies, but also you still have a little bit of fitness exercise and enjoy the outside. So
absolutely, Paul, but you're going to have to keep yourself in if you play one of those greens. You'll have to hold back a bit on the driving. So
well, just a normal draw for me will be a pound on through your head. So Liz, I need to cut down on the driving. My wife also said so. But I play it when it's need to be played.
I saw you the weekend, and I tell you what, you still have it. There's nothing wrong with your drive. It's in the right place, the right time. It's a formidable weapon.
Spent a lot of time to try and get it right, so I'm just going to change those cameras.
You see how they start picking up. It's a bit of dew and it's getting colder, so the green's running a bit heavier, a bit stickier. So they're picking up that you have to add a meter or two here to get closer to the green. You can see this one's run short.
No, these guys pick it up quickly. In 4 weeks into play, some of them might have played before, but still think these guys are, they're doing well for what they are doing. Look at that.
Ball.
Look at that.
Nothing wrong with that. Sign him up. Sign him up.
All right. Interesting stuff happening this weekend at your club.
Yes, we have the development trips this weekend, and it's a new competition that we're opening, and we've got quite a few novices at the moment, probably about 10 of them, and they always want opportunities to play. I mean, a couple of great novice competitions in the Western Cape, and last weekend was the great one, and name's the one that Oakdale,
Sissy van Vrede.
Sissy van Vrede. That one's been going for many, many years, and that's a fantastic one. Our novices didn't do too well there, but we have an opportunity this weekend where the novices, every team has to have a novice and then 2 experienced bowlers, and the idea is to give them an opportunity to play with some experienced bowlers, and then to have a bit more of an opportunity in the game to understand and to talk to experienced players. During a league match, it's often not really etiquette to do that. So we want to give them a chance where they can start shining on their own. And we've got a full field. We've got 20 teams playing over the weekend. It's a 2-day event, and we've got a nice sponsorship for that as well.
All right, so Jock, let's start off. I don't know what bowls is. I'm watching this and I'm hearing this guy telling me we've got a novice thing. What is a novice?
A novice is when you start playing bowls like these people who are playing Business League, they will register them on the Bowl South Africa website. And when you play Business League, you're not really a novice yet. So you're just someone who's interested in bowls. But as soon as you start registering with a club, so one of these people might sign up afterwards, and they would come for coaching. That is done for free over weekends. And once one of the once the person has gone through a coaching session and has been passed by a couple of coaches, they get signed to the club. They apply and they get signed onto the club. And once they've assigned or signed membership, they then enter their novice years. And every member or every novice has 3 years in which they could then play novice. There are a couple of exceptions. So, for example, if you win the Western Province competition, you're not considered a novice anymore. But yes, certainly your first 3 years you're considered a novice.
So it's a beginner. You're a beginner bowler, eh? Yeah.
That's quite right. So yeah, novice is someone who's starting out in bowls. It's a beginner.
Do you think that's fair? So I start out bowls, I go in the first weekend, I'm lucky enough to get into the Western Province novices competition, and I win it. I've been playing 2 months and I win it. Now I'm not a novice. Is that fair?
Well, if you win the Western Province competition, let me tell you, then you're certainly not a novice anymore. But yeah, no, look, there's a big debate about that as well. If you can beat all those novices, let me tell you, there's some stiff competition in the Western Province novices. There's no greater fear for an experienced bowler than to face a novice with 1 or 2 years experience, because they've got nothing to lose and you have. So novices are up there. And let me tell you, they're really, really good. In the Western Province, we've got some very strong novices.
Yeah, no, very true. I just think 3 years is too long. I think make it a year and that's it. And even if you win something or not, you can play novice because you're a beginner. You're not a beginner because you now win a competition. You see, you're still a beginner. I'm learning this game by way of some fluke. I got through it, the final and win it. And now suddenly I'm not regarded as a beginner anymore, which I think is a bit unfair. But it's the way it is. And nothing we can do about it.
So only the very top competitions. I mean, if you win your club competition, the ruling has now recently changed, where you can once again still play as a novice. So when you win a club competition, then you're still considered a novice. So you serve out your 3 years. But yeah, the term, I mean, there's some people who say 3 years is too short. There's some of these career novices who there's always some arguments say that some people have been 4 or 5 years. They were novice when they came here 6 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, no, there's lots of arguments like that. But all the records are there with Bowl South Africa, and we use that as our guide. If there's a mistake in those records, well then whoever complains needs to lodge an official complaint through the correct channels. But yes, no, the debate about 3 years, it's always going to be there, Paul. I'm not sure what is the right call. I was just glad that I had 3 years.
Yeah. No, for sure. I had 3 months. That's why it was for me when I came and I was like, no, I can't enter any of those beginners. I'm now an open man. And so, well, that was it. But in any case, it was in a small district, so it was. I played against my own club mate. We had to drive 320 k's to go play the final.
No.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, so it was a bit of a nightmare. But in any case, we did it, and it's part of it. There are other guys that are traveling way further. For bowls. So.
Yeah, I think you were very unfortunate, but I think it would have probably done you well, because let me tell you, I know you play very well. You play a great game, so you might have missed out on a couple of opportunities, but I think you gained some in other spaces.
Yeah. For me, it was never about. For me, it was, I wouldn't have entered any novices thing again, just because it is my nature of competing. If I can play in the open, even Brendan. When Brendan started playing, I said to him, listen, you must know there's just one novice chance that you have. Then it's done. Then you're a bowler, and we play bowls. You don't want to go to all those type of things, and that's in the deep end and swim with you swim. That's it.
Now, look, you guys are serious bowlers, and I mean that's how some people are. Not everyone is. So for some of the novices, I think the majority of the novices, they just want to be a better bowler.
Yeah.
So getting those 3 years, I mean, you can see in tabs. There's some novices who've been here for a year or two that are still battling, and every now and again you still see a wrong bias, but then you also see that with experienced bowlers.
No, for sure.
So yeah, it's about focus, about concentration, it's about becoming better at the game.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think we're live. Yeah. I think we are still live. No? Yeah. Yeah, we're waiting. It's now the final end, I think, or it's either the final end or the 2 ends to go. It's up and down. I'm not sure.
That's up and down.
Yeah.
Seventh end. Not a great ball.
Yeah.
Just past it.
Oh, really, I must say, these guys are doing well for newbies, if I can call them that.
Oh my goodness. Someone just got to touch it.
Well, let me tell you, many years ago, when I was still a member at Stellenbosch, we, myself and Eddie and another guy, and Hetty Waldeck, we decided to organize a student tournament. So, which we did, and it was 3 days, and it was the Kosse's against each other, and it was quite lekker. And but the first night, this one Wimpy said, no, we'll give you a beer for each toucher. All right. Now, for the next 10 minutes or so, there were rockets flying down the green. These guys were going and having a gun at all, trying to get a toucher. And well, the toucher, there's a beer. There's a toucher, there's a beer. So yeah, we had quite. That was a very successful. Very successful tournament, and we got so much crap for it because of red tape. We were not supposed to do things, and we were not supposed to be there until 2 o'clock in the morning to keep the bar open. Not to say that we made more money out in those 3 days than we did in the whole year in the bar. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was absolutely fun. We had such a ball.
Yeah, no, it's good. Look, the way those are the memories that you need to have as a bowler, and these tournaments that you have all over the country and all over the countryside are fantastic ways to get to know a great place. I know there's I think there's a tournament in Bonneville up this weekend, isn't there? Yeah. And that's, I've heard. I personally haven't played there, but I hear it's fantastic. And these smaller towns, there's some fantastic tournaments being held there, and it's an opportunity for the economy, even albeit very small, but to be contributed by bowlers. So we're playing our bit in this country.
No, definitely. This past weekend was the Gem of the Karoo, I think, which was in Grafrenet, or the Grafrenet, I think. And guys we had teams from Stellenbosch that were competing, some other teams from Cape Town, then also teams from George that went up there. Gillian Young, she's now studying here. She went up to that. So, these small. I know the Kimberley rinks, well supported, full. You can't get in if you're not invited. Hermanus Ayala, there, men's tournament. We haven't had it for the past 2 years because of COVID, but brilliant tournament and well supported. So you can't get in. So there are massive tournaments in the Platteland, and there's a lot of food. They normally feed you well, and you stay well, and you get a lot of headaches. Because it's something in the water that apparently, but no, it's brilliant. I love going to the Plattelandkies and the Platteland towns and go play there.
I heard once that there's a bowling green in Hofmeyer. I met these guys in the All Cape in East London, and they invited us at some stage to come and play in Hofmeyer. It was a triangular tournament between Hofmeyer and 2 other places, I think Craddock and one other place close by there. And I said in Hofmeyer is like a dust bowl. There's nothing happening there. All you can see is teerbus and coffee bus, and there's nothing else. You drive through that town and there's like 20 meters of tar, the rest is dirt. And he says, no, there's actually, it's like an oasis. And I went and Googled this, and I tell you what, it's a fantastic green there, right in the middle of I think it's part of the Northern Cape, but I think it's about 100 k's north of Craddock.
Okay.
Fantastic. Is one of the things I've got to get hold of that guy again and say, look, I'd love to come and play there. But yeah, you're right. There's fantastic opportunities, and those are the kind of places which. One thing we're missing this year is our swallows, and it's not just the bowls. It's our golfing in the country club. Our golf is also missing a lot of the swallows, and with us having been on the red list for UK particularly, it's really affected the numbers of our overseas members not being able to come and take part in bowls. So, and ideally, these are the kind of people you want to take to the Platland and go and show them the hospitality and the fantastic food that you get out there. So yeah, we're missing our swallows, but we're enjoying being able to play in the Platland. Places like is Worcester considered Platland?
Yeah, no, but really, Worcester is a little bit more town, but they are. You have to. It's 100 k's from us, so it is a little short stretch.
I watched the Boerland trip final that you broadcast there, and it was a fantastic game. There was Wynand Pool from Hermanus taking the trophy there. Yeah, no, it's a great club there. That green, actually, those greens are tip top. They're really good greens.
Yeah. But when the wind blows.
Yeah. But where the wind blows, is it not fun?
Yeah.
But that's all part of this game, That's everyone plays under the same conditions, and that's what makes this so challenging. It's every green is different.
Yeah.
That's why I often say these guys who play indoor, it's all good and well being able to bowl at speed of 21, and
Must be boring.
it must be very boring because your grass doesn't change, the temperature doesn't change, the wind is not there. So I love this because of the target and the challenge. For me, it's just like hunting. You have to adapt all the time, and it's fantastic.
No, that is what we won't do, what we will do without wind. And when we go up country, we don't know how to play because there's no wind. And those guys come here, they can't believe how we play. There's only wind, so it's part and parcel of our game. There would be nothing. I would have nothing more enjoyed to travel from Cape Town and go, and there's 500 and odd clubs in South Africa, and go and pop a visit and play 3 ends at every club. Just do that. But that will be awesome to go visit all of the people. Each, and there are some clubs that have 3-4 members.
It's unbelievable,
and they make it work.
And they make it work, and that is what's so fantastic. You hear about these clubs, and like you say, 3-4, but say 12 members, and they are competitive bowlers.
Yeah.
They enter a team in something like the All Cape or in one of these district competitions, and they do well.
Yeah.
And you think, if they can do it with that small number of members, why can't we? So it's really inspiration to bigger clubs, and about what you can achieve if you put your mind to it.
Yeah. I think it's a question of too many cooks spoil the broth.
True. They got a good cook tonight.
Yeah.
Tia Blatt is doing our curry and rice. These people are going to have a fantastic dinner later.
Okay.
I think they're all coming to an end now. This is the last end for this matchup between Vita's Bandits and Lawn Bowls. Very clever name, that, Law and Bowls. Law and Bowls. Lawn Bowls.
I think they're the lawyers, aren't they?
Yes.
Right, in the background here you will see STBB's board. They are the sponsors of the Business League, so we must say thank you to them. We say thank you to all sponsors. I, for one, am the one that knows how valuable sponsors are and how we have to look after them. And so if you are in a pickle and need a lawyer, STBB are there for you. And if you have sold your house or wanting to buy a house, then make sure that you also ask them. They are very good at with their transfer, conveyancing, and you are updated. They've got apps and stuff that run for you. They let you know before stuff actually happens. So that's how good they are.
I've bought twice, and they've been my conveyancers both times, and I've only had fantastic service. So they
Nice
are
ball,
staunch. A staunch company. Great bowls. Unlucky there, he just missed the kitty.
It seems as if at least everyone has had a good night, had a joyful experience over the week, over the couple of weeks.
Trying to pull one in here from the outside. Yeah. Wind's coming from the west, though. We can see we're probably getting some rain tomorrow or later on tonight. It looks like he's just called the right line, but the weight's a little bit heavy. It's just over. Just over.
A little bit heavy, yeah.
One of the additions we've added here, Paul, as you'll see on the corners, we've added these small flags on the corner, because often the wind in the windsock is a bit misleading, because it's about 10 meters or 3 to 4 meters above the ground, and at the green height, it's often not the correct indicator, because we've had situations here where the windsock is pointing one direction, but the corner flags are pointing slightly differently. So especially here, like you say, the wind that affects the bowl, you need to really keep your eye on these little corner flags to see where the wind's coming from.
I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but I think if for any international event you have to have them, the corner flags, if I'm not mistaken, if it's international events, because of that same reason, the windsock showing one and the wind speed at the bottom is different. So it's forward thinking.
Yeah, that's one of Ken's innovations. So yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, as I've said. We're hoping to collect some or to embark on a project to upgrade the banks on our B green here, which is in front of the clubhouse, to be artificial banks. It's a bit of we've had a bit of a damper in terms of our finances, I think, as most clubs, because of COVID, but we have some plans in place, and we're really optimistic about upgrading our banks here, where we can really start enjoying the fruits of the green and not having to put so much effort into the banks. It's a lot of labour to get them to comply with the requirements.
That is, for me, it's the one thing that I would say when I start the green, the first thing I will build is the banks. I will not be grass banks, they will be definitely artificial. For one, it looks prettier. You can square them up nicely. When you go to Oudtshoorn and you see those banks are squared, because they've got the army guys there, they are too scared to not square it, but that's why. But that's a different story, but it takes a hell of a lot of work to do it, and you have to have the angle right, otherwise it bounces back onto the green and all of that. So the artificial bank for me is a given. That's the first thing I will change at any club, any green.
Especially if you have, it depends on the soil that you have as well, and I mean, whether you have we have a bit of a slight problem here with some molds, but it's under control at the moment. But then if you have a couple of strong drivers, then they do tend to dig a bit of a cave underneath the bank and some of the rinks. So you got to keep on monitoring it, got to keep on working at it. And artificial banks definitely is the way to go. I like your philosophy, and I think that's something that all new greens should. I'm hoping that we're going to be building new greens in this country. Certainly hope so, because this is a sport that can be enjoyed from 5 to 105.
Yeah. What I have picked up on with watching a lot of bowls all over the world is that the clubs are being more used community-wise. They're more pulling in the community to utilize the club for and offering stuff and services for the community. For instance, they do have clinics or stuff like that. So, and I think that is what we also must try and do. When we are going to do our community, get our community involved, then the stigma of old men's marbles and the racing and all of that will be gone, because we're doing it for the community. It's the community project. It is, so that I think is the way to go, but it's a lot of work, again, to get to that point first.
It takes dedication. It takes identifying some members to help you drive that, because the committee cannot drive everything. Yeah. And then it's about You're absolutely right. It's about diversifying your offerings. You look at any farmer today; they cannot. Most of them have got holiday cottages on their farms. Some of them have set up distilleries or breweries that have become the craft beer and have become tourist attractions. So it really is a way to go. And I think we need to start thinking outside the box instead of not, like you say. It's not just about the bowls. It's about a wider offering for the community out there.
No, 100% true. And you have to multitask, multi-use, if I can say that. Oh well, let's see. This is the final bowl of the game. They are holding 3 shots, I think. Let's see.
We're playing a format of.
There we go.
We've got a full house now. They're playing the format of a 4-3-2-1. So each end scores out of 10. First, nearest the pin is, or nearest the kitty is 4. Then 3, then 2, then 1. Yep. So 8 ends the total score out of 18. I think lawn bowls have it.
Yeah, we'll try and I think lawn bowls have won it because they were quite far ahead and they were going to be very difficult to be caught. But I'm not sure what happened here. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think lawn bowls have pulled it through. So we'll confirm that in a moment. For the next couple of minutes, you'll be in silence until I go find those scores. All right, that brings us to the end of this broadcast. Thank you for those that have watched. I couldn't see because I was busy with chatting to Jock the whole time. We didn't actually check the phone. But thank you for those that have joined. The Law and Bowls team from the attorneys have won the tournament, so congratulations to them. And so they beat the Vitus Bandits. So congratulations, and we're up again in 2 weeks' time at the Parrot Classic. We'll see you there.
Hope you got some good food.